What's up, everybody? I've really got no clue how I want to do this video. I really don't. First and foremost, I have played a lot of The Last of Us Remake. I am currently on my second playthrough, and I almost have it beat a second time on the remake. Okay, let that sink in. That's how much time I've put into this game. Hey, little man! Come here right quick. Let me ask you a question. Come on into the frame. How much time have I spent this past few days playing The Last of Us Remake?
I haven't seen you play a game you've been legitimately doing nothing but playing the game.
Like no life.
Yeah,
I
haven't seen you play a game this religiously for a long time.
It's been a long time. It's been a really, really long time. That's it. Thank you. So, he's actually recently beat the game. So he wants to do his own review, so I look forward to that. Is it worth the $70? I'll tell you what. If you are like me, and The Last of Us Part 1 holds a special place in your heart, it's absolutely worth $70. It's worth $100. You can't put a price on quality. Now, let's say you're just kind of like indifferent toward the game. Let's say you thought the game was okay. Will this game make you see the game any differently? Probably not. And you should wait for a sale. For the most part, the gameplay is intact. Still kind of feels like the original, with the exception of some minor tweaks, and I'm going to go over all of those. Now, there's a section in the game where I'm trying to look at it objectively, okay? I got my blinders on because I love this game. Everything looks so much better. Graphically, everything looks so phenomenal. And you can switch from performance to fidelity on the fly. So just hit pause, go into options, hit fidelity, and oh my goodness, on a 4K TV, I can't even believe how good it looks. The level of clarity that you're getting. I went back to The Last of Us Part 2, fired that up, went into the photo mode, checked out some gore, and it's not near as crisp as it is on the remake. The remake is just, it's got a whole nother level of just sharpness to it. Now, Last of Us 2 I do feel looks a little bit more realistic, whereas Last of Us Remake has a bit of a cartoony vibe to it. But graphically, it's absolutely amazing. And going through the game, seeing all the bells and whistles, graphics by far is the biggest part of the game. The biggest change that I saw. So I'm walking through Bill's town. Love that section of the game. Walking through the town, and I see all these empty buildings. And I'm looking at the buildings. The buildings are still closed off, and I said, you know what? That was a missed opportunity. Now, see, that's something they could have done. They could have opened up some buildings. They could have opened up some stores, put some Easter eggs in there that we could have explored, just giving us some new things to look at from the original game. And I feel like that would have been really, really cool. And that would have further justified the $70 price tag. The $70 price tag at the end of the day is a bit greedy for a remake. But again, if you're a super fan, I watched Skill Up's review. He talks about if this is your Robocop, because the guy loves Robocop, then absolutely 100%. This game is my Robocop. It is, well, what he thinks of Robocop. That's how I feel about The Last of Us. This game is perfect. It's almost perfect to me. The voice acting, the gameplay, and the gameplay is definitely enhanced. The AI is better. The graphics are better, like I already said. The gore is significantly increased. So let me tell you what I got here. I don't want to ramble. So I made some notes. The rifle only holds one round when you start out instead of two, which is better. It's like my son said, it didn't make sense to him that a bolt action can shoot 2 rounds in a row. I get that. So your rifle comes standard with 1 round until you upgrade it. You pick up the notes and read them like The Last of Us 2, whereas in The Last of Us Remastered, you just grab the notes and it gave you the option. You could go into your backpack and look at them. In this one, you pick them up and you instantly read them. Just hit circle, 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 circle. He'll put it away quick. Joel gets winded really bad. I'm going to go over that. I got a comparison. Light reflects in the blood. When you shoot somebody, blood's coming out. You can see reflections in the blood. Now, that's not new. That is in The Last of Us Part 2. I went and I confirmed but it's still super awesome nonetheless. Definitely wasn't in the remastered. You can turn off auto aim. That's huge because you couldn't do it, and it's super strong in the remastered, and you can't turn it off. So to be able to turn off auto aim is awesome. The scrap that you pick up, it's little gun parts now, just like Last of Us Part 2. That's not new. That was in the Last of Us Part 2. So all the little like metal pieces in the game, it kind of looks like, in the remaster, it looks like junk. Whereas in the remake, it looks like little gun parts. So that was cool. New Game Plus with all the gear. So you can start a New Game Plus with all your gear. So when you get to that first workbench, grab your guns, you get all your weapons. You can walk through this entire game from the beginning with your AR-15. How awesome is that? Unfortunately, the assault rifle sucks. The recoil sucks, and you can't upgrade it. That would have been a nice addition to be able to put like a foregrip on it to reduce the damn recoil, make the stability better. That was a missed opportunity, giving you a high capacity magazine. Again, little differences like this should have been in there. I feel like they should have put that in, but they didn't. So it kind of leaves the assault rifle, I don't even use it. You know, still cool that I can have it from the beginning of the game, but the recoil is so bad I don't use it. Increased consistency of rare events. So this did happen in the remaster. You kill everybody and then the last guy begs for his life. That is in the remaster, but it barely ever happens. In this, it happens a lot. Pretty much every time you finish an encounter, if you didn't headshot him with a rifle, he's going to be on his knees begging, and you can come up and choose how you want to deal with this guy. Pistol to the face, shotgun to the face. However twisted you want to do him, you can do. Gameplay modifiers. So there's gameplay modifiers, infinite ammo, stuff like that after you beat the game. I think that's in the remaster, but in this you get an explosive bow and arrow. And it is severely deadly. I got some gameplay, I'll go over that. I feel like they should have put the explosive arrow in the story. I should have been able to go and pick it up, find it in-game, and use it while I was doing my playthrough. I shouldn't have to go into gameplay modifiers to use the explosive arrow. Again, another missed opportunity. Like infinite ammo is cool, infinite whatever is cool, but that stuff gets boring really, really fast. So if I would have had the explosive arrows in my first playthrough, a limited number, that would have been awesome. But again, missed opportunity. You can tweak the difficulty. Now this is huge. I'm going to tell you why. Last of Us 2, you were able to pick your difficulty, hard, grounded, whatever, but you can go in and tweak all your options. So if you want the AI on grounded, which is the hardest AI, you can do that while keeping your resources on moderate. So you get the resources like you're playing on normal, because I assure you, playing on grounded, resources are so scarce it makes it very, very aggravating. You got to stealth a lot of the game. But this, you get the best AI with all of the weapons and ammo that comes with your standard difficulty, and that is awesome. Huge gameplay changer. You can't do that in the remastered. You can do it here. Workbenches change, as you already know. I talked about fidelity mode. Fidelity mode looks absolutely amazing. 30 FPS feels smooth. That's kind of a contradiction. Smooth and 30 FPS don't really go together. It's playable. It's not stuttery or nothing like that. Looks amazing. But in your high octane events, if you're going balls to the wall, you're going to want performance mode on to increase the aiming. Improved AI, we're going to talk about that. Gore, we're going to talk about that. Joel pulls the hammer on his pistol and on his revolver. He never did that. He never did that in the remaster. People said he did. He did not. That is in Last of Us Part 2. It is now in the remake. Just a little touch, kind of cool. I put faster loading, but that's not the case. I went on my SSD. Last of Us Remastered on my PS5 through the SSD. It loads just as fast. You're looking at about a 10-second load time from menu in-game. Encounters actually load a little bit faster on the remastered. So if you restart the encounter, it's almost instant on the remaster. On the remake, it takes like 3-4 seconds. It's super fast. Have zombies crawl at you. Now, as far as I know, this was not in the remaster. So you use a bomb, blow them in half. They will crawl at you. You can stomp on their head. Pretty sure that's new. I think it was in Last of Us Part 2. It was not in the remaster. And if it is, I've never seen it, and I beat that game like 4 times. Trust me. I know this game like the back of my balls. Well, you probably don't know very well then. Okay, I put that in-game conversations. I'm going to elaborate on that. So, listen, I don't want to insult you, but I'm going to show you some gameplay, and it's in 1080p. Please don't judge the quality of the game off my garbage-ass footage that I captured off the PS5. But let's go over these comparisons, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, let's go over this thing. So, this is a nail bomb from Last of Us Remastered. And I just want to take a look at some physics real quick. Quick little physics comparison. So a dude walks over a bomb. Boom. Not a whole lot of blood splatter on the ground. No books off the shelf. Not really a big deal for the time. But, you know, a remake could clean it up. And as you can see, it clearly does. To the left, to the right. Books off the shelf. That is the exploding arrow I told you about. It's in the game modifiers, unfortunately, instead of in the game where it should be. But, you know, whatever. Let's try that again. Boom. Look at that. See, little stuff like that I like. Okay, this is one of the things I feel like the remastered has an edge over the remake. Listen to this. Now, as you can see, the running in the remake looks slower and Joel sounds terrible. The melee, I feel like, hits a bit harder. Hits a bit harder in the remastered. In the remake, it's cleaned up. The animations are cleaned up, but it lacks that impact. So let's take a look at some bullet damage. This is remastered bullet damage, shooting the leg. Not bad for the time, got some blood, but take a look at the remake. Look at the way it streams. Look at that. Let's get a better look, shall we? Roll on over to here, where this guy met his end. Look at it stream down. You see that? Now see, to me... Can I be left alone, please? Thank you. Now see, I don't have to worry about that in the remastered, because they rarely ever come outside to mess with you. Test out the face. How much better the faces look. Look at that. Look at how much more realistic. Now, if he didn't have his hoodie on, you'd see it streaming down his head, but you can still kind of see it. Brutal. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Now we're going to look at some AI. Some AI comparisons. As you can see, these guys just let me walk right up in here, man. It's no problem. Not very aggressive. Now in the remastered, they will flank you. But like, they're notorious for shit like this. See? Boom. Good little flank there. But like, when you're sneaking in, when you're creeping up, they're just like brain dead. Look at this guy. That's drastically cleaned up in the remake. Much more aggressive. I don't know what's going on with this guy. Alright, this is the remake. We're going to try the same technique. Or the same strategy. And that doesn't work. Okay, let's creep up on him. Boom. See that? He's not going to let me in. Not going to let me in, so we're going to have to change tactics here. Shot the dude next to the window. You can see that. Got the little melee guy. I could have shot him there. I just want to see how long he was going to wait. Just try to creep him again. Excuse me. Boom. That didn't work. See, they react to where you hit them. That's awesome. Bodies fall much more realistically. Not that it was bad in the remastered. It's not. Just the little touches that they brought to the table. Boom. Nice try, buddy. Comes outside, try to get me. Okay, so those comparisons in the remaster was on hard, so I put it on grounded just to see if the same thing happened, and sure enough, this is how they act on the hardest difficulty. And back inside he goes. Easily exploitable. It's still hard on grounded because you have no supplies, but as you can see, flanking is about the best thing they do in this. So there you have it. Now, a lot of the gore I didn't show you, like the shotgun to the face and stuff like that. Shotgun to the limbs, to the arms, to the torso. You can literally obliterate these people into bits. Huge gameplay changer. AI's vastly improved. Now, I'm not going to tell you they don't flank you in the remastered. They do. But as you can see, it's a big difference. They flank you much more intelligently. It's just better. Should they have included the dodge? I think so. Prone, I can see why they didn't include it. The dodge, seeing as how my enemies can step left, step right real quick, I feel like Joel should have been able to do the same thing. Or a roll would have been useful. So many times I see a guy coming at me, if I would have been able to just roll out of the way, that would have been huge. But, whatever. They didn't include it. I still loved every second of it. I'm still playing it. I'm still enjoying it. All this remake did was remind me of how much I love this game. I love it through and through. I love everything about the game. I've gone back and I've played games on Xbox with resolution boost, with FPS boost, and all in all, it feels like the same game. This feels different to me, but that's because I love the game. Now, when you're playing it, if, like I said before, if you're indifferent, these things probably aren't going to stand out as much to you. The enhanced AI, the better bullet damage. A lot of you guys don't even care about bullet damage. So in that aspect, I'd say, yeah, it's not going to be worth your $70. But if you love this game, like the in-game, Skill Up said he wants to fast forward through the puzzles and this and that. They should have made that an option. Going through this game, the dynamic between Joel and Ellie is one of the most special things about this game. The in-game conversations, and with the added visual fidelity, Ellie's facial expressions, for instance, it makes scenes like this much more captivating.
Yeah.
I just want to say I'm sorry about Tess. That's it. I won't bring it up again.
Ellie, you don't need to worry about me. We should go check on Bill.
Okay.
And again, I apologize for the 1080p. That looks awful. That is not representative of what you see in-game on a 4K TV. It's just, all in all, better. You see different emotions on their face that you never saw the first time. I watched all the cutscenes. I know everything that happens. I watched every single cutscene again. And on my second playthrough, I'm still watching the cutscenes. I'm not fast-forwarding. There's a lot of value here. We spend a lot of time spending money on shit that we don't need, that we don't want. How many times has Netflix jacked up the price or these subscription services, but because it's minuscule, we still pay it? Think about it. These games have gone from 60 to 70. It's a $10 difference. I get people aren't happy. They don't want to set the standard, but I feel like a lot of these people that complain are championing subscription-based game services, and that the future looks very, very bleak because of this. I feel like all these games like Returnal, I don't feel like was $70. Horizon Forbidden West, that looks like a $70 quality title. I wouldn't have paid it because it's not my type of game, but I feel like if the game is quality, why are we bitching about spending $10 extra? You know what I mean? I just don't understand. Again, I get somewhat of why gamers are pissed because they don't want games to just be standard across the board, $70. They don't need to be. There's no need. Saints Row should have been $40. $40. You know you're not at the level of quality as something like The Last of Us. When I play Last of Us, when I play Red Dead 2, these games are on another level. They deserve the extra money. They deserve the extra price. No game is worth my $70. That's crazy to me because all games are not created equal. But anyways, hope I answered your questions. I love this game. I love the remake, man. I think it was worth every cent. If you're on the fence and you love the game, stop waiting. Stop overthinking it. You know what I mean? You go out to dinner and you spend how much? You go to the store, not even planning to buy shit. I buy dinner for all three of us, me and the 2 kids. It's like $30. And we're talking fast food. I go to Zaxby's, it's $30 to feed us for the night. One meal, you know? And then I go out to the store and then my daughter wants something, then I got to get something for my son. You know, by the time I get home, I spend $60 on nothing but something that we love. I'm not spending that. How does this make any sense? How does it make any sense? Dudes spend hours and hours on their YouTube channels talking about video games. They're in podcasts talking about video games, loving video games. Huh? Not worth the $70. Make it make sense. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll holler at you later.